So when you're injured while in the course of employment, that can also result in what we call a third-party claim, a negligence claim against a third party who's not your employer, who was at fault in causing you to be injured. Most common is going to be a motor vehicle collision. You're working, you're delivering, you're in a company vehicle, you're on a trip out of town in your personal vehicle, but you're doing work or you're on the way to do work out of town for the employer. And you're involved in a motor vehicle collision that's someone else's fault. You're going to have two claims, not just one, in those circumstances. Sometimes people are not told the truth. They're told, no, this isn't workers' comp. You're going to make a claim against Nationwide or Allstate for that driver that hit you, and this is not us. Well, that's not true. You have both cases. Some people choose not to file both claims, and that's their choice, but you do have both cases. There are reasons to file the workers' comp, and then there are often personal reasons why people decide not to because they don't want to get in trouble with the boss and what have you. And I get that. My job is to explain when somebody comes in and talks to me, hey, you've got both cases. We're happy to handle both. We're happy to handle either one and not the other if that's your choice. So it really depends on the circumstances. So somebody comes in, they've been in a motor vehicle collision, and on the one hand, let's say there's limited insurance of $30,000 and the liability carrier for the automobile at-fault driver is offering to go ahead and pay that. You don't need to hire me for that. You may need to hire me just for the workers' comp claim. Then on the other hand, it may be that you need help fighting with Nationwide or Geico or whoever on the personal injury claim and the workers' comp claim is going smoothly, or you just don't want to file it because you know that it puts your job in jeopardy. So at that point, my job is to, hey, here's what comp would be doing and should be doing if you file it. I understand that you're not. If you change your mind, you let me know, and we go forward with the other case. That's the client's choice. But they do work together in this way. Workers' comp is supposed to pay as they go. Weekly check for disability, partial or total. They pay 100% of the medical as they go. The bills don't just sit there and pile up. On the personal injury side, however, they don't write checks as they go. They're going to write one check after the case is settled, and that's it. So you're not going to, if you're out of work for a long period of time, you're not going to get Nationwide or Geico or State Farm or Allstate to pay you a weekly check while you're out. And so you may not have any choice but to go ahead with that workers' comp claim even if you're reluctant to do it. But what's worse is some employers will just not be honest about it. They'll tell that worker, no, you've got another claim here, so you're going to file it there, not on my workers' comp. And that's not the law. That's not the way it's supposed to work. In fact, it happens also just with health insurance. You know, they'll say, you're not filing on comp, you've got health insurance, you file it there. That can be a problem because later on your health insurance is potentially going to find out that it should have been covered under workers' comp, and they're going to start charging you back for what they've already paid. And that may happen after you've resolved your case, and that's a big problem. So the idea is, my advice is always going to be to have the proper insurance company pay those bills, but I also understand and get people's concerns about losing jobs because they've got employers that are particularly awful, and they just don't want to file the comp claim. If they don't, that's their choice. My job is to advise them as to what would happen, what they would get if they make the claim, but again, it's the client's decision as to whether they pursue both. Most of the time, however, it's not a big problem for the employer. We explain, look, we're there to make this claim against the negligent third-party carrier, and in that circumstance, there may be money coming back to workers' comp out of that recovery for what they've paid out. And so they don't necessarily get it back, or they may get part of it back, and that can be negotiated later or dealt with in front of a judge if there's an unfair circumstance. But the idea is that we're not trying to have animosity with the employer in that circumstance. If they're paying the workers' comp claim, we're going to focus on the at-fault insurance. So again, we're happy to talk about the situation that you're in. You make an informed decision about which way you want to go. Do you want to have us handle just the personal injury claim, just the workers' comp claim? Do you want us to handle both? Or do you want to not even file the workers' comp claim and just handle the other? So it's your choice. Once you've got the information, you can make a better decision about which way you want to go. If you have any questions about your case, if you feel like you may need help with your workers' comp claim, give us a call at Dodge Jones. I'm happy to sit down and talk with you and let you know what I can do to help.